Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Let's Be Honest with Peter Kozodoy. We are one day after the official launch of Honest to Greatness, and I am proud to report we have hit the #1 new release on Amazon in 2 separate categories, just doing really great work. And that's thanks to everyone out there who has agreed with me that our society needs to be more honest. And that, by the way, honesty is the way to achieve results in your life and business. So if you haven't picked up a copy of Honest to Greatness, please do. Today, I have an extremely special guest, Cyndi Thomason. Cyndi, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Peter. Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure. The show's Let's Be Honest. So let's dive in. And in 3 to 4 minutes, Cyndi, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and what gets you inspired.
Okay, I'm the founder of an accounting firm called Bookskeep. We specialize in serving e-commerce sellers that are in the 1 million plus range, people that sell on Amazon, have their own Shopify stores, that kind of thing. And I started this business about 6 years ago because I was struggling with how to manage being a stay-at-home mom that had a child who had dyslexia and didn't have the community resources to support her. And I had to drive 2 hours away to get her the help that she needed. And it was expensive. And so I was trying to figure out how to do all of that and keep my mind going, keep myself kind of fulfilled from a working perspective. And so remote accounting was just coming onto the scene. It was something I knew well in my past corporate life, so it made sense. And so that's why I created the business. And we specialize in working with people that sell on Amazon, Shopify, which is just such a huge thing, especially right now with all of us having to shop more online. But the reason it appealed to me was because those people were also trying to do what I was doing, which was build a flexible lifestyle. Many of my clients want to live all over the world. They want to travel. Some of them are moving. Yeah, me too. Some of them are moving from a corporate job into something that fulfills them more. And they're technology savvy because they spend their days working on the computer, trying to figure out how to get inventory to the right place, et cetera, manage their statistics online. So we kind of just fell into it. I had a few clients like that, and it worked out really well. And it worked out really well for me to integrate what I needed in my personal life with my business life. And the thing that gets me excited is that now we're growing to the point where I can offer that to my team. We're 100% virtual. So it's an opportunity for me to hire people who are in that same struggle boat. You know, they're trying to take care of elderly parents, or maybe they're not completely through school, or they're going back to school, and they need something in their career. They need a career. They need to make money. But at the same time, they need flexibility. And our workforce, that's what we appeal to, is people that can do a great job in accounting, but also need that flexibility. And that's what makes me excited, is to offer that to more people.
That's amazing, Cyndi. So, as usual, right? I hear the story so many times. Certainly, I've lived it. We have this terrible thing going on that we need to solve. And out of the solution springs an incredible opportunity and eventually a business. It's phenomenal. Yeah. And I love hearing you talk about, I have a name for this, honest alignment, getting your personal life and who you really are and what you really want to do in line with work, right? So you're just living exactly as you sort of honestly are. I love that. So take us to a time, Cyndi, over your career where you have had to get brutally honest with yourself as a leader. And that could be in personal life, business life, family life. Tell us about that time. Tell us how you got through it and what you did.
Well, the moment I decided that I had to take my daughter out of public school was one of those moments. She was in kindergarten, and how hard can kindergarten be? But it wasn't working. And I would pick her up, and she would come home and spend hours, in her room, just decompressing from the day. And I love school. I couldn't wait to go to school. My husband was that way, and here we had this child that it was not working for her. And so I was trying to decide what to do. Well, luckily her babysitter was homeschooled, and I talked with that mom. I talked with the school about what resources she needed, and they basically said that they didn't have them in our small rural town. And I never will forget, my friend asked me, well, you can spend your time educating your daughter, or you can spend your time trying to get those resources in the school for everybody. And part of me wants to help everybody, I'm like, well, I will fight for this and I'll make sure, but then I realized I didn't have the personality or the energy for that. And that what I could do to best help my child was to focus on her. And so that was a really, I had to look in the mirror on that one and just say, it's not about me. It's not about what I like about school. It's about what she needs. So that was a challenge. And I think I see that challenge again in my team members, where they're trying to struggle through how to, you use the word alignment, I use the word integration. I think they're kind of similar, but how do you stay at home and do the things that your children, to help your children, or how do you help your elderly parents, and also manage integrating your work into that? And so just trying to be honest about that struggle, that it's not an easy thing. And just recently, I've realized as a leader that I need to do more to help my team with managing that integration. I haven't figured it all out yet, but I love the concept of honesty that you've put forth in your book, and it's made me reflect more about, okay, honestly, what am I going to do to help my team achieve this? It doesn't just because you create flexibility doesn't solve the integration problems.
Oh, that's so golden. And I've had a lot of small companies over my years and a lot of big companies, Fortune 500 companies. And so often they go through, say, a core values exercise, and they get to their 3 words, and it's like, okay, we checked that box, but they're not living it. Right. So just because you create core values doesn't mean you've created culture. Right.
Right.
The other thing I love about what you're saying, Cyndi, is that so often I encounter folks that want to boil the ocean. They want to create like a movement and impact 1 million people. And meanwhile, they're not even getting honest with themselves about what they need. And I'm struck by this moment you faced that you were like, do I help my daughter, or do I, change the entire school system? And it was enough to just put your oxygen mask on first. Right.
Yeah.
To handle, to be a hero essentially to your daughter.
Yeah.
Which is more than enough. Right. Incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure.
So Cyndi, take us to your most massive win that you are most proud of in your entire life, and then share with us a biggest loss or maybe even regret.
Okay. Well, most massive win is that my daughter did graduate with from her associate's program in the community college. Yay. It's no small feat for a child that struggled to read up until she was in the 3rd grade, and has gone on to university and is pursuing her dreams from the standpoint of, she's just got a huge heart and wants to help folks. And so she's now in the FEMA AmeriCorps program, working to help get PPE out to these people in the United States. So I'm just super proud of that. So that's a big win for me, because I was her homeschool mom for 12, 13 years. Other big win is my book. You know what it's like to put a book out there in the world. And so after helping these e-commerce businesses that struggle with cash flow, I wrote a book about how to manage cash flow in an e-commerce business. And it came out in January of 2019. And still getting good sales, and still feel like that's making an impact and helping people, especially in this COVID time where there's a lot of uncertainty. Cash is king. Really being sure that we have the money to support our businesses going forward. And so I'm super proud that that's out there and making a difference, I think, for people.
And what about a biggest loss or regret?
Biggest regret.
It's the show's Let's Be Honest. I got tough questions for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do. And this is a hard one. I don't live with a lot of regret. I try to learn from it. I I regret that we are not growing as fast as I'd like for us to. I regret that I haven't put the systems in place for us to serve more people.
Hmm.
And I know that's part of growing. Is my choice has been to be organic about our growth, and I feel good about that part of it. But I think I do think we can grow faster, and my vision for that is to grow faster because I want more people to have the flexible lifestyle that my team has. And I want more people to have security in their cash. That piece of it is really important to me. And it's frustrating to just get stuck and feel like, we're not moving fast enough. We're not able to do this as fast as I'd like. So,
Yeah.
And I got to figure that out, because that's on me.
Yeah, that's true of anything with a mission, right? It's like, I wrote the book. Why aren't a million people on this already, right? So it's slow by slow. So that's awesome, Cyndi. Thank you for sharing that. Where can people find out more about you, more about your system, and get involved with what you're doing?
At Bookskeep, BOOKSKEEP.com. We've got the website out there to tell you a little bit more about the accounting work that we do, a little bit more about the book, a little bit more about me and the team as well. So I'd love for people to check it out. And if you're having trouble as an e-commerce business trying to make sense of cash in this COVID world, we can help. I'd love to have that opportunity.
That's great. And, I hope folks take you up on it. Cash is king right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. And Cyndi, I have a feeling that you probably can't make big changes as a business owner in your finances unless you're willing to be honest about what those finances are and what it takes to transform them. Am I right?
Yeah, you are right. And thinking about regret, that's probably another one that I regret that there's some people we just couldn't reach and that we didn't we haven't cracked the code yet for knowing how to help them face themselves honestly in the mirror. And as I've been reading your book that you shared with me, and one client situation came up, we've gone through this diagnostic and asking all these questions. I know financially what their situation is, but every answer to every question was, we're doing great. We're doing great. And yeah, we've got that covered. And I just, I'm hopeful in your book when I get to the end that there's some answers here, but I just would like to be in a situation to hold up that mirror and say, wait a second, this can't all be right. You wouldn't be in this financial boat. Yeah. And so figuring out a way to reach people that aren't quite being honest with themselves yet, I think is something to consider more for me as a business coach for these clients.
For all of us, it is an incredibly powerful skill, not just for clients, but for children, spouses, right? Friends, family members. I do have part 3, which is how to implement honesty strategically. You will learn all about that. And I'll tell you one thing right now, which is the way forward is never going to be to offend the ego of the person who thinks they have it all figured out, right? Never has anybody changed when you said to them, well, you're wrong and you suck and these numbers are bad and you got to change now. They're never going to wake up and be like, oh yes, oh, you're right. Why didn't I see it that way? I'm so stupid. Yeah. Doesn't work that way. Yeah. One of the techniques I talk about that may work here in this situation is feed forward. And it's the idea that instead of giving feedback about what their numbers are, or what their operation strategy is, instead you give them feed forward, which is, why don't we paint a picture of the future if we considered 2 or 3 different scenarios that are different from what you're doing right now? Play that forward for me. How do you think that would turn out? What do you think would be the pros and cons of each of these? And what you can begin to do is paint a picture of a future where nobody's at fault because it hasn't happened yet. And that may be an interesting way for you to at least open the conversation and open the blind spot, right?
Yeah. Totally love that. Thank you.
Oh, very welcome. And you'll find more strategies like that. And, you'll have to let me know by the end if it helps you. And you can be honest about it because it's a book about honesty.
I'll leave you an honest review.
I appreciate that. So folks, speaking of, if you've picked up a copy of Honest to Greatness, thank you so much. This stuff is important. You see person after person, leader after leader who comes on this show talks about how honesty plays into their lives. Why? Because if we can't be honest about who we are and what we want and what it takes, then we can't achieve what we're trying to achieve. Honesty must come first. So if you've picked up a copy of Honest to Greatness, thank you so much. Please leave an honest review on Amazon. You can give it 5 stars, give it 1 star. It's a book about honesty. You get to be honest. And if you haven't picked up a copy, we are still in launch week. So please do. It is so important and meaningful to me to help spread the word and to help, not only individuals, but our society understand that honesty does matter. Cyndi, thank you so much for being here.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you, Peter.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Congratulations on a great launch.
Thank you. Well, I don't know about great. It's a launch. We'll see how it goes by the end.
You made it.
Yeah, exactly. I made it to here. Yeah, thank you. And until next time, I'm Peter Kozodoy. Thank you for being honest.